So, I imagine this next story is going to be pretty bad because, evidently it was removed from the Creepypasta wiki after being featured in something called BS Creepypasta Storytime. It was recovered by a foreseeing user. I usually don't read these before going in, but I like Street Fighter, so I'm interested to see what someone would do with one of these stories. So let's find out. So here we go. Oh God, I just need to tell this to you and whoever's behind you, peeking over your shoulder. It happens, you know. What happened? I went to GameStop one day. I saw a copy of what seemed to be Street Fighter V. This is impossible, I thought, but I grabbed it anyway. Okay, so evidently Street Fighter V isn't out yet. I wouldn't even know, because the last one I played was like Street Fighter 3, I think. Anyway, I like Capcom versus SNK, though. I think that's what it's called. That's a good game. When I got home, I looked at the disc. It seemed to be a PS2 disc. Oh, here we go. Even though I think 4 came out on the 360, or maybe that was 3. Anyway, whatever. I began setting up the PS2 and noticed that there was no rating on the game's cover. In fact, it looks like it was made with a paint program. Here's the cover. I'm not going to show a picture of the cover, but it's not that great, so don't worry, you're not missing much. Anyway, I put the disc in the PS2 and began the game. The opening was Akuma staring into the night sky. He seemed sad. The stars began to move, glow, and flicker. Akuma became shocked, then angry. Which one was it? Oh yeah, Akuma was the he's not even in Street Fighter 2. Akuma's in Street Fighter Alpha, I think, and all the ones after that. Anyway, whatever. I think he whispered, Misatsu, but I'm not sure. Yeah, whatever the hell that means. He leaped toward the stars, which were now falling towards him. The stars transformed into metal versions of Akuma with blue eyes that illuminated. I don't get it. They fought Akuma, who killed them one by one in 1 to 3 hits. Each time one died, blood would spray out where they were hit. Blood is not an unusual thing in Street Fighter games, I know that. Akuma turned around to... Actually, there is blood in Capcom versus SNK, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, Akuma turned around to see Ryu. Is it Ryu or Ryu? I heard it was Ryu, actually. I don't really care. And another metal Akuma. The metal Akuma held Ryu captive. Akuma freed Ryu and killed the imposter. Akuma walked away from Ryu, who was confused at this point. Then fog appeared on screen. The title showed. I decided to go to training mode. The playable characters were Ryu, Ken, Dan, Sakura, Guy, Akuma, Hugo, and a new character named Gusaru. Alright, I know this is going to be some weeaboo thing now. It's in my bloodstream. I can feel it. Ryu had no bandana on his head, and he had blue gloves rather than red ones. Ken's hair was short, and his GI... What's his GI? Was now dark red. Okay. I don't know. Maybe the thing he wears? Isn't it usually red? Or... I don't know. Who cares? Dan was normal, except he was seemingly depressed. Okay. How can a sprite look depressed? I'd like to know what that looks like. Sakura's outfit was soaked in blood, but it went along with her demented smile. Guy seemed to have been changed greatly due to him wearing casual clothing. Akuma had no shirt, exposing a scar across his chest. Hugo was normal. He had poison on his shoulder, though. What the hell does poison look like? What? And poison is capitalized. What does that mean? Maybe the band Poison? No. But Gusaru was more noticeable. He had a green G soaked in blood, similar to Sakura's schoolgirl outfit. He had purple long hair and gray gloves. I chose to play as Guy. The CPU was Metal Akuma. I had fun brushing up my Street Fighter skills, then went on to arcade mode. Again, I chose Guy. I fought Sakura first. Guy was sitting down, but got up. Okay. Sakura was giggling in a creepy way. The stage was Street Fighter Alpha's stage for Birdie. Every time Sakura leaped into the air, she'd let out a scream of malice. I beat her with little difficulty. Guy's victory message was, "I'm sure a straitjacket will look good on you." I chuckled at this. Okay. I don't even know who Guy is, so he's not even in some of them, so whatever. The next fight was Ryu in Ken's stage from Street Fighter 2. Ryu was staring into the sky, then noticed Guy. He then said, "I'm ready to fight." He spammed shoryukens. Shoryuken! But I defeated him anyways. I've always wanted an excuse to say that. Guy's victory message then said, "You're not ready. You're only eager." Then I had to fight Dan, who resided in a new desert stage. He was balled up and crying, and then he saw Guy. He said, "Leave me be." Alright, I gotta stop here because I don't think this story is gonna have any point whatsoever. And I mean, these stories usually don't have any point, let's face it. They're usually written by children and they have no point. But this one, I don't even see it beginning to have a point. Anyway, the fight begun, but Dan was still balled up, continuing to cry. I low-kicked him, and he was now rolling around, screaming in pain. Okay, that's this part I kind of like. The fight ended. Guy then said, "Let's not torture him. He's depressed enough already." Evidently, in this game, this really does feel more like a fan fiction, because they're sprites. How can sprites be behaving in this way? He's depressed enough already. How would the sprite know that he's depressed? Okay, Ken was the next opponent, and we fought in his stage from Street Fighter Alpha 2. Ken was adjusting his belt, then said with a low voice like Goku's voice, "Let's get this over with." He struck first, but countered him with a throw. He fell to the floor, which broke, and the fight ended. Was this Mortal Kombat now? Guy looked down at the hole, and the victory message displayed. It said, "Oops." Okay, what the fuck? The next fight was not on character screen. It was the boss, so I guess it makes sense, and it was a nude version of our Mika called Succubus. Alright, Jesus Christ, come on. A cutscene cued, starting with a shot of the desert, now nighttime, with the characters I previously defeated and other Street Fighter characters trapped in gimp suits? What? Why? Guy walked up to these characters, a shocked expression on his face. Then Succubus appeared. "Another sexy victim, I see," she said. "You'll be nice to play with." Alright, this is now just officially just like a porn fan fiction. This is really bad. Guy jumped into his fighting stance. The fight begun, and Guy was easily defeated. Okay. Succubus then trapped him into a gimp suit. She cocked her head to me and said, "Won't you..." Cocked her head to me? To the character? To the person playing the game? I was scared somewhat. She said, "Won't you join us, cutie?" Alright, this is just like a porn fantasy of somebody now. This is just horrible. The game forced me back to the character select, except the only character there was... It literally says, pausing for dramatic effect. Me! I was a chibi version of Guy in a light blue shirt and dark blue jeans, as well as black sneakers. It even had my name there. Alright. When these stories get to this point where the character... Let me give you guys some writing advice, okay? When you write a story, no one cares who the hell you are. So unless you're writing this as any person, just putting yourself in the story is, in my opinion, a waste of time. And every time I read these where the character is inserted into the story, they're always awful, okay? I selected myself. Oh, of course you would. You wouldn't call the police. And saw another cutscene. She was really excited to see me, I knew that. She jumped up and down, saying, "I'm going to enjoy and cherish this moment." Alright. This is like the tenuous threads of what a creepy story is supposed to be. My moveset had the special attacks of Guy, except the leap into the air move was not there, as well as the spinning kick. But I did have the Shoryuken. I fought her and nearly didn't survive, but I defeated her with a super Shoryuken called Jaden Hiro no Ken. Succubus fell down. I had no victory message. A cutscene appeared, showing the Succubus melting, like the Witch in the Wizard of Oz, I guess, and the other characters being freed. and earning their original clothes, except Sakura, who was in a straitjacket. Okay. And then celebrating. I think the author should be in a straitjacket. I turned the game off after entering my initials because I got first place. Then sat down. I was reflecting on what happened when I heard Succubus's voice again. She said, "Don't forget your souvenir." Oh my God, are you serious? She said, "Don't forget your souvenir." A pair of panties flew and landed on my head, then gave me a headache. How can underwear give you a headache? Long story short, she had me do a favor in order to stop the torture. So basically, the summary of this story is that this guy has sex with his TV at the end. This is the worst thing I've ever read in my life. Epilogue. I was reflecting on what happened when I heard Succubus's voice again. She said... Oh my God. The epilogue is literally just the last 3 sentences of the story repeat. Alright. This is horrible. I give this a 1 out of... I give it a 2 out of 10. Actually, I gave the Power Rangers story a 3 out of 10, I think. And that was not as entertainingly bad as... Actually, they were both equally entertainingly bad. Alright, I'll give it a 3 out of 10. 3 out of 10. Awful.